Stress. The motivator. Every student in America experiences this thing we call stress. It is the reason why we have overachievers that strive for excellence. It is the only thing that keeps students going. Without stress, students would get nothing done. The more stress, the better. Just kidding. Throughout the past 4 months, I've been given an inside look to the lives of 3 NHS students. Throughout 2 interviews per person over this time span, these 3 teenagers have explained to me what stress means for them and how they deal with it.
My name is Alex Sylvester.
My name is Rosie Haynes.
My name is Claire Chen.
Working with and getting to know Rosie, Claire, and Alex at this intimate level has been an extremely positive and unique experience. They all lead very different lives, which made their thoughts on stress not as similar as I thought they would be. Over the course of these interviews, I've gotten to know what these 3 students' lives are like and what different types of stressors they deal with every day.
So, on average, how stressed out do you think you are, from scale 1 to 10?
I'd say a 3. I'm pretty...
Alex Sylvester is a 16-year-old sophomore at Northampton High School. He takes mainly honors classes and intends to take AP classes in the next 2 years he has at NHS. Alex is a part of the Interact Club, which is a community service club, and he also plays football in the fall and lacrosse in the spring.
During the season, a lot of it is. It's football season mainly. It's homework and football, and that's about it.
And, during sports seasons, would you say you're more stressed out or less stressed out?
Probably more. Yeah, a lot more of my time's taken up. Less time to worry about homework and academics, extracurriculars.
At this time when the interview was happening, Alex was searching for a job and also considering trying out for the Northamptones, an exclusive a cappella group at NHS. It was also the winter, which means he didn't have any sports to worry about. School as a whole wasn't taking up much of his time then. However, he still had other things on his plate.
Oh, my dad lives in Florida, though my parents are divorced. And my mom, she lives with us. She's a pretty great woman.
Do you have any stress that is, generated from your home life? Do you find that your family puts stress on you?
Oh, definitely. I would say taking care of my little sister when my mom and older sister are out, along with just my dad not being there. It's pretty rough. Adds a lot of stress.
Along with having to deal with his father living over 1,000 miles away, Alex expressed that he was feeling pressure from home to get good grades.
I just recently received a report card. Got 2 A's and 2 B's. My mom said I wasn't going to get into college with those crappy grades. So
What?
I know, right, that's pretty stressful. I would say my main stressor right now would be homework and maybe doing a good job at work, shoveling, or I don't know, I guess family issues. My dad living in Florida is pretty stressful. Parents being divorced, yeah.
The conclusion I made from this first interview with Alex was that his main source of stress was coming from his home life. School also weighed heavy on Alex's mind. However, if he went without the stress being put on him at home, it wouldn't have been as bad. Issues with his work life weren't too present considering he didn't have any serious employment, and he didn't express any problems with his social life. In fact, he even said that his friends helped him stay away from getting too stressed out.
No, I don't think there's stress from social life or girlfriend. I think that they help with stress. Yeah, you can just talk to them about your problems. That's great. I think that it's good to hang out with your friends. It's a stress reliever, really.
In my second interview with Alex, things had changed. His average stress level rose from a 3, but not too much.
So right now, what do you think is your average stress level on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd say 5 sounds about right.
Additionally, Alex had become more busy in different aspects of his life than before, and he had a lot more on his plate.
Since the last time we had an interview, I recently started to win the trial part for the Northamptons and chamber choir. And the lacrosse season has started up.
And you got a job.
And I got a job.
Okay. And how has that impacted your life?
It's pretty stressful, not gonna lie. It's a lot of things to balance in my schedule right now.
Now with lacrosse season going on, Northamptons and chamber choir tryouts in full swing, his club's activity increasing, and a new job, Alex explained that less of his worries were coming from home and school. Of course, those stressors were still present, however, they were not in the forefront of his priorities.
Do you feel comfortable sharing your average grade or your GPA?
Yeah, my GPA is a 3.6, I believe.
Okay, cool.
So I get 94s.
Cool. All right. And what type of student are you? Honors, AP, or average classes?
Generally honors, but I'm taking a couple APs.
Okay. Do you take Smith classes?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Claire Chung is a 17-year-old junior at Northampton High School. She maintains an above-average GPA, and she also takes college courses. Claire is a member of the Teen Advocacy Group, which is an anti-drug club that has a branch of the Northampton Prevention Coalition, and she's also a member of the chamber choir. She comes from a happy family of 6, including her cats.
Let's see, I live with my mom, dad, brother, and 2 cats. I don't know, it's pretty good. Both of my parents have full-time jobs that are pretty demanding, so I do a lot of work for them, but I don't know, it balances, so.
Claire didn't seem too stressed out by her family, and surprisingly enough, school didn't seem to be a huge concern for her either.
This semester I'm taking Honors Latin 5, AP English, a Jewish Studies class at Smith, and I don't remember my 4th class. Hold on. Chamber choir.
There you go. Okay. So school isn't a big stressor for you?
I'm generally pretty good with getting good grades and studying and that kind of thing. School doesn't tend to stress me out as much as other things.
With not much worries in her home and school life, I was curious as to what was stressing Claire out.
Out of those, home life, work life, well, you don't have a job, but social life, school life, and extracurricular life, what would you say would be your main stressor?
Probably social life, actually.
Why's that?
I don't know. I'm kind of an introvert, so not necessarily I don't know. I find it stressful to be around people all the time, but having all these people in my life, it's hard to not have that. So sometimes I'll just want to spend the night alone, just read a book or take a bath or something. But it's I should be hanging out with a friend, or I should be spending time with my boyfriend or whatever. But so that can be kind of hard because I want to be alone sometimes. So that's kind of a stressor in my life.
Do you find that your friends or your boyfriend put any stress on you?
I mean, it's a little bit hard to balance friends with hanging out with him sometimes, because I want to keep my relationships with other people as strong as my one with him is. And same thing with family. It's kind of hard to have family time and friend time.
Although she does have the stress of social life, it isn't too bad.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how stressed out are you on average?
On average, probably a 3.6. Almost, yeah, somewhere between 3 and 4.
Okay, so that's not super high.
No.
So you'd say your life isn't very stressful?
No, definitely not.
After a month or two, it was time for another interview, and like Alex, Claire's stressors had changed.
I remember the last time we had an interview, you were more stressed out about like social stuff, so has that changed?
Yeah, my social stuff has been pretty easy. I'd like to have more time, of course, but...
For social things?
Yeah, for social things.
Oh, okay. So you dedicate most of your time to school now?
Yeah, I feel like the balance is kind of off right now.
Claire explained to me that the workload in both her AP English class and her Smith class had been increased since the last time we did an interview, and it was taking up more time than she would like. However, Claire had learned to adapt to this new situation and told me that she spent some of her homework time working with her friends and her boyfriend. During this interview, a new topic came up, which was college.
Since you're coming towards the end of your junior year, is college starting to stress you out more?
Yeah, definitely. It's mostly just like figuring out like when I want to go to somewhere and like if I'm going to stay overnight and like if I'm going to go on a tour and if I even like the place. So yeah, because I'm not really sure like what I want yet in a college. So,
Where are you looking?
I have looked at Northeastern so far, but I'm looking at Union in the fall. I'm interested in Vassar, I think. Like I don't really know.
This like college stress, do you think you're putting that on yourself, or like do you like
I think it's partially me being worried if I'm going to be happy in my future, partially family because they want me to be successful and my dad is a Smith professor, which is scary. And I don't know, there's a lot of pressure from like the administration too. With they're like, oh, like all these kids from NHS go to MIT and like you should also go to MIT. And I'm like, I don't know. But there's definitely pressure from like them to be successful, to like make their statistics look good.
When I asked Claire about her average stress levels in this interview, I received a much different response than I did the first time.
So nowadays, how stressed out are you like on average? Like on a scale of 1 to 10?
I've been pretty stressed out recently just because of school. Maybe like a 6 or 7. Yeah.
Okay, and that's totally because of school?
Yeah, the workload it has just gotten to be more than it was last semester, more than it was earlier this semester. I don't know, last semester was like just like weirdly easy for junior year. And I was like, oh, well, everyone says that junior year is so hard, and like, that's a breeze for me. And like, now here I am like, oh, it actually is really hard.
Claire's change in stress levels is to be expected, seeing as she's a junior, and that's notoriously the hardest year of high school. However, the drastic change of what she was worried about wasn't something to be expected. Although her stress increased, she appeared to be handling it well and didn't express that she was being too overworked.
I try to stay involved with photography. I'm on the swim team, I play ultimate frisbee, I take piano lessons, volunteer at Cooley Dickinson Hospital. I don't have a job, but I spend a lot of time doing homework and hanging out with my friends.
Rosie Haynes is a 17-year-old senior at Northampton High School. She keeps herself busy with all sorts of extracurricular activities and takes school very seriously. Rosie has taken both Smith College classes as well as a Greenfield Community College class during their 4 years at NHS. This past fall, she applied to over 10 colleges, most of which were upper tier. She comes from a family of divorced parents and has 2 siblings.
I have a mom and a dad. My parents are divorced. I have an older sister who lives not with us anymore. She's not dead, but she, my older sister is like on a gap year from college, doing music and stuff right now. And then I have a younger brother who's 8 years old, who lives with my dad full time. Both my parents live in Florence. I split my time between houses.
When I began to ask Rosie questions about the stress in each aspect of her life, all of the responses she gave me were long and had a lot of substance. Unlike Alex and Claire, I couldn't pinpoint one exact area of her life that stressed her out the most. School, social life, work, and extracurricular activities all seemed to be overwhelming Rosie.
So, right now, how stressed out are you and why?
I'm
Like on a scale of 1 to 10.
Like, I don't know, I'd say like baseline stress level is like always a 3. Always, like, no matter what, like the most chill I'll probably ever be is like a 3. It's like there's always at least like 3 things to be stressed about, but like I would say like school day, like I'm at, well, like I guess like if I'm like motivated during the school day, then I'm at like a 7. No, maybe not, maybe like a 6, but like definitely like I think I'm stressed a lot of the time.
Do you ever find that like your social life is a source of stress for you?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think that having friends is stressful, but it's definitely worth it because friends are great. Oh, big stress. I have like Crime and Punishment quiz tomorrow. Have like 100 pages left of Crime and Punishment to read. So like that's something that like I'm not really going to be able to go to sleep until I read Crime and Punishment. I definitely think I could spend like 4 hours on homework every night if I wanted to. It's like swimming this season just ended for me, but it was like every day, get out of school, then like practice is from 3 to 5, and like we had away meets, like we'd get on the bus at 2:15, get home as late as like 7:30 or 8. Frisbee is like similar schedule, like starting at 3 to 5, like every day after school, but it's like very rigorous. We have like a big tournament. We go to a lot of different tournaments, but we host one that's a big time commitment. With like when we host like a tournament of like 40 teams, like we have to coordinate where they're staying and like what the activities are that we have planned for them, and like it's like Frisbee season is like very consuming of like you're really a part of a team that's doing things inside and outside of just on the field.
Even though Rosie seemed to have a lot of stress all around, she felt as though her stress levels were especially high in her school life.
So, out of like your home life, work life, social life, school life, and extracurricular life, what do you think is like the most stressful bit for you?
Definitely school. I mean, for me, like I really want to go to a college that I feel like is competitive, and that's like been my focus, I think, for like a long time. Is like
At the time of this interview, Rosie had finished applying to all of her colleges, but hadn't heard back from any of them. The idea of being the perfect college candidate by getting good grades, getting good SAT scores, doing sports, and extracurriculars was something that she expressed to be stressed out about. She also pointed out that this is a problem for a lot of high school students.
I think everybody has so much stress. I think all high school students are stressed. Like just because I'm stressed about like things that are more like typical like school stresses doesn't mean that I'm more stressed than someone who's going through like family issues.
When it was time for our second interview, Rosie seemed a lot more relaxed than the first time. She had gotten good news and the school year was coming to an end, so it was time to de-stress.
If you want to just like recap anything that has been big in your life since our last interview.
Last month of high school is upon us. I heard back from colleges. I'm going to go to Carnegie Mellon next year, my top choice school. It is so relieving to feel like my hard work paid off when I got into the place that I wanted to be. Ultimate Frisbee season started a few weeks ago. AP exams are in like 2 weeks. That's looming on us. Graduation, prom. Yeah.
Although Rosie seemed more relaxed and less stressed, she still had things to worry about.
Like, I know last time I asked you how stressed out you were, like 1 through 10, and you said a number that was really high, like 7 or 8. So, how stressed out on average are you now?
Same.
You're still a 7 or 8?
Yeah, I mean, I still have sports every day. I still am working equally as hard in my classes. Like, I'm busy. I'm so busy.
Wow. Okay, so like, getting into college really has not relieved any of your stress.
No. No. But it was like pretty devastating like 2 days before I got in. I got like my other 2 top choice schools, like one of them rejected me on a Thursday and the other one rejected me on a Friday.
What schools?
Barnard and Wesleyan. And then it was that Saturday that I got my acceptance letter from Carnegie Mellon, but it was pretty sad and stressful.
Rosie's stress levels may have gone down, but school was still the main contributor to her stress. In order to maintain her acceptance into Carnegie Mellon, she needed to keep up her GPA, which means she couldn't let the senioritis get to her. She told me that she was still invested in school, however she was giving herself more time to enjoy other parts of life. Stress is not something that is one-dimensional. It has many sides to it. Alex, Claire, and Rosie are all great examples of how a person can be stressed about a range of different things, and that stress can change and adjust due to circumstances over time. There are expectations set on teenagers for all aspects of life, not just school, and these expectations are put on students by a variety of different entities, like parents, high school administration, and colleges. Some of these expectations are getting harder and harder to meet, and this results in the average high school student being more stressed out than they should be.
Modern society is so, you have to do everything. Like you can't, like you should be doing like 100 different things at once. Like there's never, like you're never doing enough. And I think that that definitely plays a role in modern society. I mean in like modern expectations in high school students. One comparison that like really bothers me is like the college application process and how like talking to like my friends' parents or like my parents about it, like they were so much more relaxed about it and like they didn't really care as much and like there wasn't as much competition around it. Like if you got like A's and like you like wanted to go to like an Ivy, like you can go to an Ivy. But like now it's like if you want to go to an Ivy, like you've got to have like done a business startup, like gotten like all A's, taken all AP classes, like been the president of your class, been the captain of 3 sports teams, like, and like on top of that, like both of your parents have to be dead and you have to like be supporting like 10 siblings, like you literally like it's just absurd like what is expected. And I think that definitely means that people are more stressed now. There's so many like loopholes in the system and like ways to like sort of like try and cram things in with like caffeine or like drugs or like cheating or like using like your cell phone because like that's like information. Like there's so many ways to cheat the system to like succeed academically that like it creates like a question of integrity that like it's like it's not there's not like an easy answer to it because like the demands that are being asked of high school students aren't fair. So like why should we have to be playing the game fairly if the game isn't fair?